Well, what is going on, everyone? I know it's gonna seem like it's been a while since I've dropped one of these videos, but we are here to talk about Presents. Now, it is a 2025 release. Technically, it came out in theaters January of last year, so just made the cut to be included in this video. And I know it got premiered at a bunch of film festivals throughout 2024, but it is a 2025 film to the general public, so we're gonna talk about it. And I want to clear something up right away. This isn't even about the movie being overhyped or anything like that. This is going to be a somewhat negative review. I don't absolutely hate this movie, but compared to some of the other movies we've seen from the year, I mean, it's really not much. It's more just like this movie is trying so hard to be different, and I respect that. I like movies that go in different directions. I like experimental movies, but at the end of the day, is it actually that good? Because yeah, the whole cameras, the ghost idea is cool, the whole POV stuff, but in the grand scheme of things, this still feels way too similar to found footage films like Paranormal Activity and Blair Witch, and yes, I think this could be classified as a found footage film. It's just a slower and honestly less entertaining version of those two films, and I'm not even super high on those movies in the first place, so I'm about to get into why this movie's really not as good as a lot of critics are saying. So getting into the premise, it's called Presence because the entire movie is from the perspective of this presence. There's something in this house, obviously super duper corny, super generic like plot for a horror film, like, oh, there's something in our house and it seems like it's malicious, but at the same time in this movie they're fucking confused. It's like a sexually confused ghost. That's the concept, like the presence just floating around a house, watching this family, watching their everyday things like marital struggles, conversations, siblings fighting, doing homework, literally just like white noise of a movie. They go through like grief, dealing with a bunch of stuff. The family's not an ordinary family. I mean, they are kind of normal in a sense, but they're dealing with the grief, you know, the daughter is dealing with the death of a couple of friends she knew from this Fent thing. This whole Fent thing is going around, and she thinks that the presence is Nadia once we get to that. There's high school drama, you know, talking about going to parties and popularity, drug issues, relationships. All of that is baked into the story, which is cool, and it tries to be deeper than a normal horror movie because of that and because of how it's shot. But here's the thing, I don't even think it's a horror movie at all. Again, we'll get into the good, the bad, the okay, and all that stuff in a second, but this is really not a horror movie. This is way more of a family drama with slight supernatural elements than anything actually scary, and I think even the supernatural elements are executed in a pretty goofy way. So let's get into it. So getting into the good, I know I'm kind of starting snarky and negative, but I'll give credit where it's due. I actually really like the concept of a POV camera, like being strapped to someone's chest to film the movie. A, that's probably a really easy way to make the film. They probably took like maybe a couple of weeks to film the damn thing. And B, it's just really cool. It feels very natural to see this thing moving through the house like it does. I don't think it's super gimmicky. I just think they didn't use it to its full potential, and we'll get to that in a second. There are elements where it genuinely works, where you feel like you're just this invisible observer moving through the house. Like, you do feel at times you are in this house with these people. And there are also some genuinely solid dialogue scenes. There's a lot of character connections. I think they developed the characters pretty good. Now, some of the characters definitely have goofy dialogues. They act stupid. There's a lot of dumbass personalities in this movie. Again, there's probably like 3 or 4 characters out of like the 7 of them that I do not like from this movie, and we will get to that in a second. But it definitely has heart. Like, it has something. It's not just shock value. It's not just horror. Matter of fact, there's really not much of that at all. Maybe like 5 minutes of the movie. The family dynamic is pretty good. Again, it makes you feel like you're a part of a normal family here. I really like the dad as a character. I think he is my favorite character of the movie. He's so comforting. He's so naive to everything that's kind of going on, and he just wants everything to be okay. And he's kind of like the go with the flow guy. He's like doing whatever the wife wants to do, which is great. A lot of men should act like that, even though it's not really the most comfortable thing in the world. I think it's a good thing though. Like, he does feel like a real person. He feels like an actual father, someone trying to hold everything together. He's trying to kind of be the glue of the family. Like, his marriage, they're not very intimate towards each other. They're just kind of living with each other. It's almost like a, what do they call it? A nuclear family? Almost just like Ted and Mrs. Wheeler from Stranger Things. That's kind of what it reminds me of. You know, he's trying to fix his marriage, trying to fix his kids, and he's like Ted Wheeler, but not as boring in this situation. I like this. Some of that stuff worked for me. The family dynamics are great, and I'll also say the movie does have some emotional weight. There are some pretty shocking moments, and there's some things where you're like, damn, that kind of hits. Going through the whole grief angle, it's almost like they take like a Hereditary angle, obviously not as ramped up, obviously not as shocking and crazy and just batshit insane, but they almost use grief to drive a story, and that works for the most part for me. The way Chloe is kind of treated throughout the film, they almost see her as a ghost, they almost see her as a psychic, this weird like witchcraft bitch, which I don't always like that angle, but here it's not terrible. The tension between the siblings siblings. I have a younger sister. I fight with her all the fucking time. Not anymore, obviously. We're like both matured, but like 5 to 10 years ago, we fucking went at it. Obviously for different reasons than what they're doing in the film. But again, there's a lot of emotion to this. There's a lot of stuff going into it. It just doesn't always land as hard as it should. The ending's solid. I wouldn't say it's bad or okay. I'd say it's a pretty decent ending. It ended in a way that's somewhat appropriate. The entity is almost trying to save Chloe, almost like trapped in her mind, almost, if you will. I don't really know. It's crazy. The son dying definitely adds some weight to it. I don't love the fact that he died because that doesn't really create any opportunity. He has really good character development though. Like he kind of starts off as an asshole to his sister and then he ends up saving her life. By the way, I'm not sure how she didn't die from the fent, but I'm sure I have this in my notes. I'll talk about it later. It's a pretty shocking ending. Like there's definitely twist. The whole twist with the asshole Ryan, which I don't like as a character. We'll get to him in a second though. The whole thing with Ryan like being the one behind all these like fent murderers, like he's lacing all these girls. That's a good twist. Definitely the most engaging part of the movie is the end, and that can be said about a lot of movies like this. So getting into the bad, there is a lot. I mean, this is going to be a massive section. There's a lot in this movie that didn't work for me. The movie is just not scary. It is advertised, it is shown on the screen, like some of the posters and the promotional work for it as a scary movie. It is the least scary movie I have ever seen. It might even be less scary than Stranger Things. Like, I don't know how you market this as horror when there's basically no real tension for most of the runtime. And just the entity itself, just the evil presence. It doesn't even feel like a threat. It just feels like it's stalking the family. It's watching the daughter have sex. It's watching all of these conversations, these personal things, and just not fucking doing anything. Like, it makes its presence known like a half hour through the film. That's already like a third into the movie, and only to Chloe. And then it takes another 10 to 15 minutes for the family to pick up on it, and for them to call on this goofy ass like apprehension person, the spirit person, like a shitty version of the characters from The Conjuring. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, straight up, this thing is just watching everything. Like, it's not even scary. Like, I guess it has creepy elements. It's just flat out fucking weird. It's just weird as hell. And then you've got just other characters I don't fucking like. Ryan is like this popular swim team jock guy. Every fucking movie, it seems, at this point has one of those dumbass characters. I wish we could leave that trope to the 80s, but it's been 40 years and people still use it in their movies. He's just a complete psycho, which I like. I like the twisted nature of his character and some of the things he talks about. Like, they attempt to go for like this iconic horror villain, like Ryan is the real villain, but like, the reveal with him being tied to drugging girls with fentanyl, it is interesting, but at the same time, the way he talks and the way he acts and just his mannerisms, he is such a punk. I fucking hate him. He's so over the top and annoying. They try way too hard with the writing in this film to make him a hateable guy. It obviously works because I'm sitting here talking to him, but I could not stand him. Like, at first he seemed like a pretty chill dude, like he was kind of getting into the relationship with Chloe, but like, what the fuck, man? And then there's this whole weird, again, the whole angle where you're like looking at Chloe as the psycho, like the girl that cried wolf type of situation. I hate that. There's so many tired tropes, and having a POV camera does not make up for that. I know this movie thinks it did, but it fucking didn't. It represents something deeper. Like, I understand what this is supposed to represent, like people with mental health issues, weird people, and like how people see them from the outside, the type of stigmas they create out of them, the stereotypes, but it comes off as cringe. Like, some of the stuff they talk about, some of the arguments they have throughout this film, again, it is super cringy. And even the scene where the apprehension girl's coming in, she's doing her thing, it fucking blows in her face and she gasps and she's like, oh, I'm done for the day. What the fuck was that? There were so many goofy ass awkward scenes in this movie that just did not work with me at all. So there's the bad for me. And getting into the okay, not necessarily good or bad things here, just kind of whatever. I think the acting, I think the cast overall is fine. No one from this movie I am super familiar with, although the girl that plays Chloe, I think got a pretty big break in Hollywood out of this movie. I'm not really sure though. Nothing's amazing, nothing's terrible. It's pretty unproblematic acting. Again, I probably could have put some stuff in the bad here, but again, there's some goofy dialogue. The mom is another character I kind of hate, but I don't overly hate her because she is such a minor character to the story, even though they're such a tight-knit family and they're in this house. She did annoy me though. Like, she was annoying. The way she ignores what her daughter's going through, it's super frustrating to watch. Like, it's kind of the problem, and maybe they're trying to make a commentary out of this. It's kind of the problem in the real world, why you have school shooters, why you have people that kill themselves and have these twisted, satanic, culty type of belief systems, because no one fucking listens to them. No one instilled any real morals in their minds, and stuff like this is the fucking problem, and I hate it. It's so frustrating to see because you know what it leads to. I know it's not supposed to be be like political or controversial of a review or anything. I'm just saying, like, it really pissed me off to watch the mother act that way. That is the point maybe, but it still makes her hard to sit through. And they're overly annoying. Like, it's not just, oh, they're trying to show the type of people out there in the world. It's like, she is dramatically a bitch. She is dramatically a negligent parent, and it's very annoying. And she picks the favor with Tyler, even though Tyler seems to be a real fucking asshole here. He's friends with this piece of shit Ryan. Like, you know what I mean? What the hell? The pacing is a pretty big issue. I'm fine with it, I guess. The movie is 85 minutes long, and it still feels slow. It still doesn't feel like they trimmed it down enough to add all of the important events to it, and I just don't understand that whatsoever. It takes forever for anything to happen. Man, it takes so long for the entity to even make its presence known, and I get the whole point. It's like confused in the world and all of this stuff. It's just crazy to see a movie this short take that long to get to the point, and the point in the end isn't even really worth all the buildup. And I like Soderbergh as a director, kind of getting into him and his cinematography and kind of the visuals he shows in the movie. It's solid. Like, there are moments of tension. The cinematography is a little creepy, just the way the camera like seamlessly moves up the stairs, goes from room to room, and you think something crazy is going to happen, but the problem is it doesn't. The worst you get out of the entity is blowing in people's faces and the camera sloppily shaking, and it just looks goofy. Like, all of it is way more goofy than it is scary. I don't really understand why you couldn't have someone get scratched or hit or pushed or something thrown on them. Why? I don't understand. It's not an evil presence. They try to put that in the prompt of the movie. It's not evil at all. It's more playful, actually, as we get into the review. So overall, I just don't really get what this movie was trying to fully accomplish. It seems like a very confused movie in what it's trying to be. It is experimental, sure. I'll give it credit. It's got themes of grief, trauma, family issues, but as a movie, it just doesn't give you enough. It doesn't set itself apart from any of its other found footage counterparts. I talked throughout the review, Paranormal Activity. We talked about the Blair Witch Project. It doesn't. It feels like it only achieves maybe half of what it's going for, and I think that's kind of my biggest issue with it. It's not that it's bad, it's just not a super effective movie, and this is supposed to be horror, and it absolutely fails at that. If it's supposed to be a deep emotional drama, it only kind of works. It only half-asses what you would see in movies like that. And when you compare it to movies, again, like the found footage, those at least get to the point faster, and they're more engaging overall. I just didn't really get that with this movie. The way it's paced, the way they decided to make some story decisions, and the way they crump every interesting bit kind of in the last like 10 to 20 minutes, I don't understand it. And the entity doesn't have much of an entity at all. It just feels like a security camera floating around a house for most of the runtime. There are ideas here, there are moments that work, but overall it just doesn't fully come together as a film. It's not terrible, it's just not that great of a film either. I'm gonna go ahead and give Presence a 5 out of 10. I know that's a really low rating, but it's just like, I really don't know what else to say about this. It's gonna be a pretty short video, and understandably so. It is a short film. Not only that, there's not really a whole lot of content here. So with that being said, leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, it has been GZTV. We're going to continue to cover some recent critically acclaimed movies. This is one of those movies I just don't fully understand, but it's fine. We're going to get through it. I think Dangerous Animals is the next movie. I'm going to go ahead and buy that off Fandango. I'll probably get into that once this review is finished.